was the right time to introduce me to the girls?
I mean, honestly, it's probably one of those days where I'm like, it's Wednesday, Georgie's here, but the hell with it.
That's exactly what happened.
But you had already met her, remember?
I did meet her, but it's different.
It's different when you actually need to know her, right? As opposed to going in the room trying to get her to go to sleep.
Sleep, yes.
So yeah. But yeah, I think it was just that time where I'm like, this woman is dope and she on my mind way more than Thursday and Sunday. Some Sundays. So I'm just like, bump it. And also, right, it's kind of like roll the dice, right? Because the risk factor is low because you're so young.
And that was the big thing. So
she can't really remember.
And to me, it was like, yeah, it's nice that I met her, but I knew that was the thing. If I was gone tomorrow, she won't remember, not a big deal. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just funny just thinking about Royal and I relationship that it's completely changed in the beginning. I walk in the door and she's running away from me to her dad and just like, who is this person, basically? And as time went on, I mean, there was a time when her and I had a stare down because she would come in the house, I would look at her, she would look at me, and we wouldn't say anything. And you were like, you really gonna not say anything? But I had to, for me, it was a different, I was tired of me initiating and her running and crying. So I was like, when she gets in, she gets settled, then we'll talk. Because when she leaves, her and I are best friends. So let her give time to warm up. And I'm so thankful now. That girl runs and sees me and calling my name and all of this stuff. But I thought it was a bigger deal when it came to London, because I know that, I mean, even some of the friends that I know you had, they're like, I haven't seen London in forever. And so when you introduced me to London, I knew it was a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, London's 11. At the time, she was, 10? Mm-hmm. So, everything matters at that point. So it gotta be substantive. And it was easy, honestly. When I previously introduced her, I was kind of nervous, right, in the past. Mm-hmm. But it was pretty easy because you was willing to, put the pain in and be with them, which I knew that already. So for you, introducing you wasn't like you had to get ready to meet them. It was just a matter of being comfortable and you being, more than willing to meet them, because that relationship is important.
It is important. And I know people disagree when I say that, but if I didn't get along with the girls, I don't think this is something I would want to stay in, just because I think it's important. It's important. Some people are like, well, your love comes first and then they come after. They do, but in the beginning of getting to know, I think it's important that we all get along. This is their dad. I mean I'm an addition to.
That's an idiot moment for whomever said that. Okay, so if you said that, what they say?
So hypothetically speaking, you and I, we're getting really close. London and I, but London not liking me. So if London didn't like me, this wouldn't work.
What did the they person say? It's okay. What did they say?
It's fine that they don't like you, because hopefully they'll come around.
That's what the person said?
Yeah.
No. Now, come around is different, right, with Georgie, but London is 10 and 11, and they're gaining some intuition, But it definitely matters for sure, because it's hard to keep moving if your kid don't like somebody. That's a huge red flag, Older people, children, and drunk people tell you the truth. So you might want to listen, as opposed to disregarding sometimes.
To be completely honest, I was worried more about London, because I've worked with little kids so much that I'm like, oh, Royal will be a breeze. London, on the other hand, she's, I'm assuming be more protective over her dad. They have such a great bond that I don't even know how to relate to 10, 11-year-olds. The only ones that I know how to do is my niece, who's now 14. So it's just it's different when you grow up with someone and know them when they're a baby to someone coming into their lives at 10 or 11. And the way Hampton did it, Hampton has no finesse when it comes to telling London anything. It was just like, hey babe, come downstairs or come over here. And London's standing right there. And I'm just like, I caught me off guard. London's looking at me like, who are you? And you happen to be in the same school. And even afterwards, like, he calls and it was just, to me, a little awkward. But for some reason, I think she understood my vibe, and her and I hit it off very quickly. Very quickly. Like, I'm saving her food. She drops me off stuff. We exchange numbers. I think how I got the password to his phone is that we were in Connecticut for Thanksgiving, and London has his phone put a heart next to my name in the phone. He thought I did it, but it was London. And she goes, do you know my dad's password? And I'm like, no. And she's like, here it goes. Let me show you. And I was like, no, I don't need to. She's like, no. Here it is. And at that point, I knew that she was okay with me. And ever since then, I feel like with her, she tells me all the time with her words and reminds me all the time of where I am in her life. And that'll make me cry because it's like, she's just so sweet, and it does, like, she's just so amazing. And babe, it's not funny. It will, like, because when I think about London and our relationship, like, she continues.
This is the part I'm supposed to run your back.
Babe, I'm trying to be vulnerable here, and you're ruining it.
You can still be vulnerable. I can still laugh. Because I'm like, it's good. See, I think people misconstrue tears for sadness.
But, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, if I laugh in correlation with you feeling good, that makes sense.
Not the point where the tears are coming down. It's supposed to be after, not like in the moment. Tears are coming down. Like, that's not it. But she continuously tells me with her words and actions that I'm supposed to be in her life. And so,
that's big. That's good, because she's a loving person, you know? She cares, you know? And so it's important for her to feel cared for, you know? And sometimes, even with me, sometimes I could be not rough on her, but pretty, like, straightforward with her, you know? Because she got some of her things she has to work on. You have to be clear with her, you know? So that's why I don't put a lot of fluff in it, because she'll only hear the fluff. But she has you to kind of be a buffer, right? You still tell her what she needs to know, but it's much more diplomatic.
It's because I think her and I have a little bit more understanding. Like, I feel like her and I are so similar. I see myself in her when I was a kid. So hearing how you talk to her, she's sometimes not listening. Or she's just, so upset in the moment. Not saying not listening, but, she's upset in the moment. And I think it's important that you and I are on the same page no matter what. Even if I may say it nicer than he is, at the end of the day, it's the same message. So that's what's important.
Yeah.